Every day I get emails. Where do I start? This is it. Easy fabric, easy pattern, great trim, home run. Okay, this is for all you who have no time to sew, no time to fit. This is the project for you. Love this. I'm going to start with 312. And that's because it has a seam down center front. So you could do any pattern that has a seam down center front. 195 would also be a good choice. It just depends if you want flare at the bottom, which is what I wanted. I'm going to make this into a V-neck. I'm going to tell you what numbers I'm going to use. But you could use 195, but if you're going to use it, put a seam down center front so that you can make it into a V-neck so that you have a guide. And so this is just fun. I saw this. This was Ellie Tahari. I just love it. This was a very similar fabric. So I picked up this fabric. It's on our site, obviously, because I'm always just wanting to use fabric pattern combinations that are wonderful. And I see so much great stuff out there. So it was kind of this animalistic line thing. And I just really like the fabric. I'm doing a Giorgio's top because it only has 4 pieces. It's a kimono sleeve. It fits amazing. After it comes into the bust, you want to fit it underneath and then it flares. I'm going to cut it a little bit longer. And my whole key to the whole thing is my new hook and eye tape. And you guys, I cannot tell you how many years I've looked for this. And that may sound really silly, but I've looked for it for a long time. And I found it when I was in New York last time. So right up the center front, I'm going to stitch this. Right on the center front, I have a seam. So I'm going to stagger the seam right in between the two. And then obviously when it comes up to the V-neck, I'm just going to unhook this and take one side off to the left and one side off to the right. So just depending, I just started with a yard of it is all I felt like I needed. And then obviously once it got to the V, one side was going to go to the other side. So this is just such a cute look. Giorgio's top is not a French curve. It's jewel neck. But what I did is I took my French curve, and this is just a fun little change you can make. I put 8 at the base of the neck right here. 8, and I put 17 at center front. So remember, this has a seam at center front, but just with the seam allowance included, do 8 to 17. And you'll see what it looks like. And if you like those numbers, you can copy. If you like what mine looks like, you can copy mine. But I'm excited to get going again. I'm using Giorgio's top. There's only 4 pieces. I'm changing the neckline into a French curve. I'm going to put this up the front. And then when I get to the V, I'm going to veer over. And this, you can just stitch right on the side. I'm going to use a zipper foot and come right up on the side. And it's black on black, so it's going to be really easy. You don't have to be a great sewer to do this. I think it's going to be adorable. Anyway, I'm going to go sew it and I'll be right back. I love it. It was so easy. Just nothing to it. Nothing to it. One thing when you're sewing the trim up the front and then when you split it out, I left fabric underneath there. So it actually blends right in. You don't see it, but you have to kind of split it out before the fabric or as close to the fabric as possible. But sometimes if you're laying it out, you might want to lay out the tape at the split point first and then go down and then work up if you want to get it right exact. I didn't do it and it worked out fine because of the fabric, but you just might be careful of that. But happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.